Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Alex, and today I'm going to be doing an all-horror Blu-ray update this time. I got tons of cool horror movies to talk to you guys about today. I have gotten a lot of Blu-rays over the past month or so that were not horror films, but I'm going to put those in another update after Halloween. If I try to do them all in one update, it would be like 40 minutes. First up, I have a horror box set that I've really been wanting to get ever since it came out last year, but it's always been really expensive. So I just bit the bullet, I pulled the trigger, and I bought Halloween, the complete collection. Okay, I'm just gonna go through all these movies really fast. Okay, the first Halloween, obviously one of the best horror films of all time, one of my favorite horror films. It's known as the best independent film of all time. Halloween 2, the sequel, in my opinion, a really, really damn good horror sequel. Almost as good as the first one. And I did have the same Blu-ray before I bought the set, so I kept the slipcover. And so I just put the slipcover on and put it in the set, but yeah, a damn good movie. I always loved Halloween 2. To me, like, every time I watch Halloween 1, I always have to watch the second one after that. Like, they go hand in hand, because it's literally on the exact same night. Halloween 3, I actually haven't seen this film in its entirety. I've heard mixed things about it, like, really mixed things on that one. I heard it's, like, good if you watch it as a standalone movie. The movie should have just been called Season of the Witch, like, not Halloween 3. Never mind. Halloween 4, in my opinion, the most underrated Halloween movie. I actually really like this movie. I thought this was a pretty good horror sequel. I really liked this one. Halloween 5, I remember this one being kind of mediocre. I haven't seen it in a while, but not really looking forward to going back and checking that one out. And Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. I actually watched this the other day. I didn't watch the producer's cut, because this comes with a producer's cut. I've never heard of that, a producer's cut? I think this is the only film in the history of cinema that has a producer's cut. Anyway, I've actually heard that the producer's cut is way better than the theatrical version, because I thought the theatrical version sucked horse ass. In my opinion, the second best sequel in the franchise, Halloween H2O Part 7. This one completely ignores 4, 5, and 6, and I thought this was a pretty damn good movie. Jamie Lee Curtis comes back as her character. Now, Halloween H2O, that one ended the series perfectly. The ending of that movie, they shouldn't have made any more, because that was a great ending. And this next movie doesn't even exist to me, and that's Halloween Resurrection. God, this is the one movie in the franchise that I legitimately fucking hate. I actually watched that for the first time all the way through, like, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, and damn, that sucks. But I did listen to Seth Talks Film and Nick Darden's commentary track on that. They helped me get through it, but still. The only good part of that one is when Busta Rhymes karate chops Michael Myers through a window. That was funny. Next up, the Rob Zombie Halloween remake, and I watched this for the first time like 2 weeks ago, I think it was. To me, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it's still not good. There's some people that despise it so much. And Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie version. This is, to be honest with you, one of the worst fucking movies I've ever seen in my life. Definitely one of the worst horror movies. I hated it with a dying, bloody passion. I never want to see it again. I don't even want this in my collection. Alright guys, that's the Halloween franchise. Not my favorite horror franchise, but definitely a damn good one. If you're a horror fan, definitely get that collection. Next up is my third favorite horror franchise ever. I love these movies. They're so fun, so entertaining, so great, so well written, so funny. And that is the Scream franchise. These movies, like I said, they're just so fun. Scream 1 is my third favorite horror film of all time, and it's also in one of my top 25 all-time favorite films. I've always loved that movie. It was a satire on the horror genre, and it did it perfectly. Like I said, one of my favorite movies. I loved Scream 2. Like, again, just such a fun movie. In Scream 3, people didn't like as much, but I still loved it. And this doesn't come with Scream 4. I have it on the shelf over there, but Scream 4, I loved as well. And I just love all these characters. Dewey, Gale Weathers, and Sidney Prescott, like, they all played their characters so well. And next up is another horror franchise that I got for, I think it was $9 at a used store, and that is the Final Destination franchise. This isn't my favorite horror franchise, but I do really like these films. And I also got the fifth one, because the fifth one is, in my opinion at least, really, really underrated. I thought this one was really, really good. I love the characters, the deaths were really cool, the 3D was cool, just everything about this movie, like, I just really, really loved. And the ending of this movie, perfect. One of the best endings to a franchise ever. I mean, I pray to God that they don't make a part 6, which they probably will. That ended the franchise perfectly, in my opinion. And I loved, like, shit like that in movies, to where, like, the timelines cross. I love stuff like that so much. Anyway, I haven't even talked about the other ones yet, but yes, this comes with the first 4, this set right here. The first one is one of my favorite horror slash thriller films of all time. I love the first one. That was a great movie, great original concept for a horror thriller. And the second one I thought was pretty decent. You know, it wasn't great. It was kind of fun on an entertaining level. But the third one I didn't really like as much. I don't think it's like a terrible movie, but it just wasn't really that good. But The Final Destination, the fourth one, that one was a piece of shit. I mean, that was a really bad movie, but, like, to me, I found it really entertaining, like, on a, you know, drunk or stoned with your friends level, you know what I mean? You just gotta watch it with a fun crowd in order to enjoy yourself. Next up is yet again another horror franchise, and this is probably the most hated movie franchise on the face of the earth. Well, besides Saw. I got the Paranormal Activity franchise on Blu-ray. I got each of these for $3.99 at Disc Replay. I love this franchise. I know a lot of people don't love it, which I completely understand. I really like the storyline. Like, this is one of those franchises to where if you actually follow the story, it's actually really cool. I'm going to go through each of them. The first one of my all-time favorite horror films. Love Paranormal Activity. Great ending, great characters. And Paranormal Activity 2, in my opinion, a great horror sequel. The ending was awesome, I thought. Like, how it ties into the first one, I just thought that was really, really cool. And the third one, Paranormal Activity 3, this is actually my favorite sequel in the franchise. I love this movie. I thought it was really good. I thought it had great characters that were just so entertaining to watch. And pretty decent acting by the two little girls, too. They actually did a pretty decent job, I thought. And overall, I just really, really enjoyed that movie. And if you're going to end up seeing the new Paranormal Activity and you haven't seen the other ones, I recommend that you watch the third one. Like, you need to watch the third one to get the new one. But anyway, Paranormal Activity 4. A lot of people hate this one, I understand, but to me, I found it really entertaining. It's not scary at all, but I don't know. I found the boyfriend character really entertaining. I thought he was funny. Paranormal Activity, the marked ones. This one is underrated, okay? This movie is not meant to be taken seriously. And, it's, like, to me, it's just one of those, like, entertaining movies you can just watch. And also, this one contains my favorite ending out of the whole series, by far. Like, I thought it was awesome. I thought it was cool as fuck. Next up, I got The Blair Witch Project, which is a very divisive movie. People love it, people hate it. This movie, though, it had like a genius marketing campaign. I mean, I can't believe that a lot of people back in '99 actually thought this movie was real, but I saw this movie for the first time like a year or so ago, and I didn't really think it was that great, but when I watched it again, I could respect it a little bit more. And I don't love the movie, but I do really like it. So yeah, this is the one that, found footage was before this, but this is the one that really made it a thing. And, yeah, it's a horror classic. Well, is it a horror classic? 16 years? Yeah, this is a horror classic. Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite found footage films. Okay, the next movie up is one of my favorite horror films of the past 5 years, by far. I have a poster for it behind me, and that is Sinister. Excuse me. And this movie is great. I thought this was an excellent horror film. Great acting, great editing, just everything about this movie is just very unsettling to me. And like the Super 8 video footage, those things scared the living shit out of me. This film, I thought, was very well directed and had a very interesting plot and story. I love horror films that have a great story, and I thought that they could have a good franchise of this, but they made a sequel, and I saw the sequel opening day, and I fucking hated it. It's the worst movie I've seen this year, considering the fact that I don't go out of my way to see all the shitty movies that come out in a year. But the first Sinister, watch it. It is scary as hell. Evil Dead 2, a horror classic. I have the first Evil Dead, and I have Army of Darkness, which I'm thinking of getting the Scream Factory version of Army of Darkness, but maybe not right away. But now I've completed the Evil Dead trilogy, and so yeah, and this is definitely my favorite out of the Evil Dead trilogy. I've only seen them once, but I really like this one. I thought this was entertaining, really cool, like, camera shots, how it would, like, go through the woods, and, like, it just, like, would never stop. Cloverfield, directed by Matt Reeves, who also directed a film called Let Me In, which is a horror film, and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. This dude is an incredible director. I have not seen this one yet, but I really, really want to, because I love found footage movies, and this one looks really cool. I hear a lot of people saying how good this is, and also a lot of people say it's bad. Found footage is, in my opinion, the most subjective genre of film, because people are either going to love it or hate it. But I love found footage movies, personally. I think it's a really cool genre that they can do a lot with. I admit there are a lot of shitty ones. Next up is a horror classic, and I haven't seen it yet. It is Carrie, directed by Brian De Palma, and I've heard time and time again that this is a classic horror film that's just great, and I haven't seen it yet, and I will watch it very, very soon. So, yep. Okay, guys, that's it for my Blu-ray collection update for the past month or so. Thank you so much for watching and checking out this video. I really appreciate that you take the time out of your busy day to watch my bullshit. If you want to, I do have an Instagram. If you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram name is at @LabelLovesMovies. So, if you want to, if you're on Instagram, maybe give me a follow. If not, that's fine. Alright, guys, I will see you later.